Hey everyone, Nightwing versus Daredevil Death Battle. Have you seen it? Because we haven't.
Yeah, this was recommended on our last Death Battle video. I asked what was a closer death battle that isn't just kind of like a one-sided sweep, so let's just jump into it.
Let's do it.
In a world where superhumans can fly through the sky or lift buildings over their head, it takes a lot more than a pair of tights for a mere mortal to stand out from the crowd.
But these guys have it covered.
Nightwing, the original protege of Batman.
And Daredevil, Marvel's man without fear. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
This one's going to be more live action and less animated.
In modern times,
okay.
the questionable whimsies of the circus
Do they
are
do
all
that
but
often,
dead.
And good riddance, because the world doesn't need any more clowns.
Yet in its heyday, few
Are they in the
performances
same,
could top the trapeze
Forgive my
mastery of the
ignorance. Are they
flying
in the same
Graysons.
universe?
Well, until a mobster cut their cord on life short. Literally.
But they had a son, young yet just as talented as them. Orphaned and alone, all seemed hopeless for Dick Grayson.
Until he scored the coolest foster dad in the friggin' universe, the goddamn Batman.
And under the Cape Crusader, Dick wasn't just a son, he was a sidekick, a superhero.
Oh,
he
Nightwing
was
is Robin?
Robin.
Yeah, the original
Until he
Robin.
wasn't.
Oh.
You got knocked the out, man!
Robin spent many, many years kicking bad guys around the back alleys of Gotham City with his new dad. Who could forget the time he crushed Blockbuster under a truck, or when he whipped out that shark repellent? Never leave home without it, kids.
But then Batman suddenly realized, you know what? Bringing kids into battle is actually a bad idea.
Yeah,
So
you'd
he
think.
fired him, and then promptly forgot this little revelation.
Only time to update the resume,
Killed by
Batman.
Joker.
Probably for the best, though. I mean, come on! The kid didn't even have a proper pair of pants. What's your problem, Bruce?
Yeah, he didn't even give him any pants.
Whoa! The mouth on this one.
Actually, it was for the best, though not in the way Batman hoped. Inspired by a story of an ancient Kryptonian superhero, Dick took to the streets by himself with a brand new uniform and a brand new name. From then on, he would be known as Nightwing.
The cool Robin.
Gotta hand it to Bats. He sure knows how to mold a kid into a criminal-crushing machine. With expertise in Taekwondo, Ninjutsu, Aikido, and a bunch of other styles, Nightwing is one of the finest martial artists in comic book history.
No doubt helped by his world-class acrobatic skills. He is one of only 3 people on Earth who are capable of performing a quadruple flip.
And between the fancy schooling he got at Hudson U and being a founding member of the Teen Titans, he's got brains and brawn, plus a whole lot of weapons.
Nightwing's suit is lightweight, bulletproof, and makes virtually no sound when moving. The blue colors even turn black while in the dark. His mask features a holographic UI,
Makes
complete with
sense.
night vision and a spectral analyzer.
He's rocking utility belts
You know,
on his
I
wrists
feel like
and
a yellow
ankles full of
cape
lockpicks,
ain't
smoke
exactly
pellets, and staples that
Yeah.
are so
It's
strong
never
they can support the
camouflage.
weight of a freaking helicopter.
He also carries a rebreather, grapple gun, and wingdings.
That weird alien font with all the shapes? Oh, I'll figure out your secret one day, Wingdings.
No, more like the batarangs or thrown shurikens. The standard wingdings are extremely sharp, but he also carries dulled, ultrasonic, and explosive variants.
But let's get to the good stuff, like his 2 screaming sticks
Eskrima sticks.
that are great for beating the shit out of people. And they'll be pretty shocked when they find out Nightwing has wired them with 50,000 volt tasers.
Despite their falling out, Nightwing clearly remains inspired by the gadgets and skills of his baddie mentor, and he's put them to good use.
He's strong enough to punch people through solid walls and smash through a sheet of ice from underwater and hold back the 19,000 pounds per square inch bite force of an orca.
And while breaking a car window doesn't
That's
sound
specific.
impressive, Nightwing's done so while the car was underwater and therefore pressurized. To pull this off, he needed to impact the glass with over 24,000 pounds per square inch.
He's quick enough to dodge point-blank gunfire, skilled enough to leap through the city while blindfolded, and tough enough to survive falling off a building.
Generally, any unsafe landing over
Oh
21
my
feet
God.
is
Yeesh.
guaranteed to break bone.
Oh!
Nightwing dropped 140 feet onto his butt, and he was fine. And we've all fallen on our tailbone. That shit
Oh!
At one point, Nightwing spent
I think I folded in
96
half.
hours patrolling city streets looking for the criminal mastermind Two-Face, and an additional 5 or more hours collecting evidence. A 2010 study on sleep deprivation noted that 72 hours without sleep leads to a number of horrendous side effects, including hallucinations.
But when it was time to leap between blimps hundreds of feet in the air and give Two-Face the beatdown he deserved, you couldn't even tell Nightwing was in desperate need of a nap. And don't forget, he was trained by the #1 detective in the world. He's good enough to solve a kidnapping with a single look at the scene of a crime.
Even more
Really?
impressive, he once performed a skydive at 930 miles per hour, which took all of 15 minutes. That puts his starting position around 25 miles high and free-falling faster than the speed of sound. For reference, real-life Austrian athlete Felix Baumgartner performed a similar great leap from 24 miles up, hitting a maximum speed over 800 miles per hour.
Why?
To pull this off, he needed a specialized suit
Just
to
to say
protect
you
him from
did
the
it?
extreme cold, unfiltered sunlight, and lack of oxygen. One mistake in movement could have put him into a rapid spin, rendering him unconscious and causing his blood to boil.
And Nightwing just did it without any of that. Damn.
He's certainly tough, but he's had his fair share of losses. His scarred body is proof of that.
And eventually, him and Bats finally made up. He even took up the cowl himself when Batman was out for a while. Nightwing is one superhero who will always come out on top, along with his partners, Jim and Juan.
What?
I mean, it's right here in the intern's notes. Who's Jim and Juan?
Oh, that's the names these ladies gave his butt cheeks.
Oh!
Well, guess you can't argue with the ass on that dick.
Robin?
I haven't used that name in a long time. Call me Nightwing.
Cool.
Before he became the man without fear, Matthew Murdock was the son of a professional boxer named Battling
You've
Jack.
watched this show.
Sounds like a badass. But Jack actually
Hear it's
boxed
really good.
because it was the only thing he was good at. And he needed money to get his
seen
kid
the Ben
through
Affleck
school so
movie.
that little Matt would have a better
I
life
think
than he
everyone's
did.
seen the Ben Affleck movie.
Oh,
I think everyone's
what a good
regretted seeing
dad.
the Ben Affleck
He's
movie.
punching people for his kid.
Matt still trained in secret with his father's exercise equipment, molding himself into a powerful fighter and an expert acrobat. This new athletic ability would come in handy when he witnessed a blind man walking right in front of a speeding truck.
Feeling especially heroic that day, Matt dove in to push the guy to safety, but the truck crashed, sending some weird acid stuff flying all over Matt's face.
From that day forward, Matt was permanently blind.
I can't see! I can't see!
Still, Matt did not give up on the dream his father wanted. He earned his degree with flying colors and founded a law firm with his friend Foggy Nelson. Things were actually
Foggy
looking up for him.
Nelson?
Well,
That's
except for
quite
when
the
his dad
name.
was killed by a mobster for ruining a rigged boxing match. Because you can't be a superhero unless you've lost your parents.
Matt was distraught. His world had come crashing down around him, and he couldn't even see it happen. But he could hear it, smell it, feel it.
Yeah, 'cause turns out that radioactive goop didn't just blind Matt, it gave him superpowers. So he dressed up like the devil himself and literally scared the mobster to death.
And so,
What?
Daredevil was born. Many blind people, particularly those born with it, experience a rewriting of the brain
I've
to
heard the
heighten their
fight
other
scenes in the show
senses,
are, like,
somewhat making up
top-notch.
for their lack of sight.
Something similar happened to Daredevil, except like 100 times greater.
His touch became so sensitive, he can tell when a person is close to him simply from the disturbance in the air. His ears can pick up the faintest of sounds, from the slightest movement of an enemy to the rising heartbeat of someone who's lying. His taste can detect each separate ingredient in any recipe, including poisons, and his nose can track you down like a bloodhound.
Who needs eyes when you can sense everything around you to the smallest detail? But he couldn't use his blind powers as well as he does without the training under a super secret warrior named Stick. No relation.
With Stick's help, Matt mastered several fighting styles, including ninjutsu, Krav Maga, and Kung Fu.
And get this, Stick had basically the same blind powers as Daredevil.
Whoa. Silk sheets.
Thanks to him, Matt learned how to hone his senses, to know and maneuver through his surroundings even better than those with working eyes. He also learned how to tap into something called an atom-induced radar sense.
Like that thing that bats do when they bounce sound around to see in the dark or whatever?
Sort of. That's sonar, or echolocation, and he can use it too. But thanks to his radioactive origins, Daredevil can actually emit electromagnetic energy waves from his body, which bounce off objects
From
in his
his
vicinity,
body?
painting
That's-
a picture of his surroundings
that's
in his
interesting.
head. This means he doesn't even need sound to find and take down an opponent.
So he's got a
So, I mean,
ton of
he
ways
can
to
just
make
see.
up for his eye problem.
Right?
But
He
he's
can see
also
with
got some
vibration.
awesome gear to help him take out the bad guys. Like his devil suit that's bulletproof, shockproof, flameproof, and a perfect backup plan whenever he forgets to prep for a Halloween party.
For combat, he built a versatile weapon out of his most innocuous possession, a walking cane.
By day, he's a feeble blind man slowly tapping across the road. But by night, he whips out the horns and snaps his cane into a high-tech billy club.
The club houses a cable, hidden blades, a recording device, and exploding pellets.
It can even turn into a boomerang. Man, where do I get one of these? You don't have to be blind, right?
No, but you shouldn't. You already destroy everything without a super club.
Well, I'd need to practice to throw it as well as he does. You know how Captain America tosses his shield all over the place and it always seems to come back to him? Well, Daredevil does the exact same thing. And he can throw it hard enough to bust concrete. He's super strong. He can lift a 400-pound barbell and chuck it as casually as when I toss a beer away if it's time for a new one.
He's quick enough to deflect bullets with his billy club and skilled enough to bounce one back so it killed the man who fired it in the first place.
But that guy wasn't expecting that. It looks like he's firing a Glock, which has a muzzle speed of about 1,200 feet per second.
At just 20 feet away, Daredevil had to react within 17
I mean, I
milliseconds
feel
to avoid
like
getting
he's got
hit.
an edge
And while he couldn't survive
when
a
it
shot
comes
to
to
the head,
speed, at
he's
least.
powered through a heck of a lot when compared to the average human.
He's survived zaps from Electro, whose power can burn through metal. He's fallen multiple stories and walked away, powered through a napalm explosion, and been hit by a 5-foot bar swung by the Ox, who can tear through metal cages and lift more than 800 pounds.
His keen control over his nervous system has also helped him resist tranquilizers and toxins, but his super senses are also his biggest weakness.
They may give him way more
wow,
field
he also
awareness
once
than
took
most
down
anybody
170
else,
Yakuza
but if
members
his
all at
opponent knows
once?
how his powers work, they can overload his senses with an extremely loud noise or a really bad smell. Like if you had a truckload of screaming skunks you could throw at him. That'd probably work, right?
But even with those weaknesses, Daredevil is a fearsome foe for anyone who would face him, even if he
my
can't
God.
see them.
He even managed to balance his life of law and the crime fighting, and became a huge success on his own. Papa Boxer would be proud.
I'm gonna kill you! Take your shot.
Let's go.
I know you're there. You can leave now, or I can drag you out. It's your choice.
Ooh, I'm shaking in my boots, especially looking at the Prince of Darkness.
It's a cool suit.
But that case over there is part of an investigation I've been working, so why don't you hand it over, and I'll get out of your horns. Is that
Does
a no
have
then?
little double horns. Live action's cool. I like it. Oh no, his mighty stick.
What the?
are you?
You're just gonna land it. Just gonna stand there and watch him relocate his shoulder.
Better.
What are you? Better. Just unfazed?
He just bounced that off.
Oh my god. What does that matter?
He doesn't know he's blind.
Oh, he doesn't?
No. He just said, all it said was there was an anomaly. They don't know each other.
That was pretty funny.
I wish I could see the look on your face.
Me too.
What? Oh, shit!
See you in hell.
Damn!
I didn't see the power glove.
She's neck.
KO!
What the? Was that live action?
Wow,
We
I
can do
honestly
that
thought
now?
Daredevil was gonna
This
take
was
that.
possibly one of our closest matchups to date. Despite
That was
lacking
very
a true
evenly matched,
superhuman
though, for
physique,
sure.
both Nightwing and Daredevil were extremely skilled and deadly fighters.
When it came to overpowering each other, they were pretty dead even. Sure, based on their previous feats, we can tell that Nightwing seemed a little stronger and more acrobatic, and Daredevil seemed a little quicker to react.
But these differences were extremely minimal. It's actually feasible that these two could pull off almost all the exact same feats.
Keyword being almost.
Right, with such similar physical abilities, this really came down to their arsenal, Nightwing's gadgets and Daredevil's superpowers. At first glance, these could simply counter each other, making this match completely even again. For example, both could take advantage of the dark with night vision or super senses, but only one set was perfectly suited to actively disrupt the other.
Remember Nightwing's scanning mask? There's no way he couldn't notice those electro waves Daredevil's radar sense was sending everywhere. Even Mr. Magoo could have figured out
Okay,
something
that
was
makes
weird
sense.
here, let alone the guy trained by freaking Batman. You know, the greatest detective in the world.
Through a little hand-to-hand action, Nightwing was certainly clever enough to recognize Daredevil's reliance to sound over sight, and had the perfect counter-weapon, the ultrasonic
Yeah, that makes
wingding.
sense.
Look, I'm sure there were several possible scenarios where Daredevil could have pulled off the win, but more times than not, Nightwing takes this thanks to his athletic skill, detective training, and high-tech gadgets. All he had to do was dare to wing it.
The winner is Nightwing.
Dare to wing it. Good one. That was good.
That was cool.
I like the live action. That was a nice change of pace.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do it. I don't know how often they do it, but there are like channels that do like superhero battles where they like have live action, or they'll take like a video game character and a
Oh, okay.
comic book character
Yeah.
and have them fight each other. I forgot what those are called. If anybody if anybody watching the video knows what they were, I remember there being like one where it was like Wolverine versus like the Predator, and
Okay.
Ryu versus the Green Ranger.
And it's like real people?
I think it's made by these same people, so I can check them out.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one was definitely like a much closer death battle where it was literally by technicalities.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the fact that he was trained by Batman is kind of like, you know, Daredevil is technically he trained himself and his dad was a boxer. I mean, if you're adopted by Batman,
Yeah.
you kind of have an advantage.
A little bit, yeah.
But-
That power glove at the end when he snapped his neck.
I mean,
felt that.
I feel like he just broke his jaw.
Yeah.
But that was definitely one of their like better. I like the live action. It
Yeah.
definitely makes it feel cool. But I mean, how are you gonna do Saitama and Popeye live action?
Yes. That's correct.
So, well, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please leave a comment for any suggestions, subscribe for more, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.
Bye.